Hello, my dear followers, and welcome back to Turkish series stars. It is such a joy to have you here again, gathered around the glow of your screens, coffee in hand, ready for the latest whispers drifting through the world of Turkish showbiz. I know your timelines have been ablaze all day, your group chats buzzing, your notifications popping. In other words, it's one of those days, and you already know why. A rumor has erupted, echoing across social media and creeping into the headlines, the kind that makes even the most skeptical among us pause and wonder. The talk is that Sinem Ünsal is pregnant with Ozan Akbaba's child. Yes, that rumor. The one nobody saw coming, the one everyone suddenly has an opinion about. So tonight, we're going to sift through the noise, gather what's been said, weigh what's real and what's wishful thinking, and try to understand how we got here. Before we dive into the storm, a quick reminder from the heart: if you haven't yet subscribed to Turkish series stars, go ahead and do it now, turn on your notifications, and come along with us for every twist and turn. Your support keeps us going, keeps the lights shining, and keeps our little family growing. And now, let's talk about the story you've been waiting for. For anyone who somehow missed the spark that lit this fire, here's the context. Sinem Ünsal? Radiant, talented, beloved for the emotional depth and grace she brings to every role, has long been one of the darlings of Turkish television. Across from her in this rumor stands Ozan Akbaba, magnetic, intense, the kind of presence that turns a scene into a moment, and a moment into a memory. Their paths have crossed in the public eye, their smiles have been decoded, their shared appearances have fed 1,000 captions. Whether walking a red carpet or simply being seen at the same event, they stir fascination. And now, the claim is that they may be expecting a child together. How did the whisper become a wave? As always, it began subtly, too subtly for the casual observer, not nearly subtle enough for the devoted fans who notice everything. A comment here, a photograph there, a story that felt different, a caption that sounded like a secret. One of the first sparks, people say, came from a thread of comments under an Instagram post where Sinem's style seemed softer than usual, where her posture seemed protective, where the cut of her outfit inspired speculation. Then came another appearance where she was said to have avoided certain drinks at an elegant evening event, and what for many might have been a simple preference became, for others, a flashing signpost. Gradually, snapshots and whispers stitched themselves into the outline of a narrative. Some claimed that a friend of a friend had hinted at something life-changing. Others swore they'd overheard a conversation at a restaurant. And soon enough, the rumor had a shape, and the world had something to talk about. But you and I know how this game is played. Public attention of this intensity can turn the smallest detail into a headline. A casual gesture becomes a confession. A close-lipped smile becomes a promise. We've seen it before, and we'll see it again. The pressure sets in, and suddenly any moment, any look, any choice becomes fair game for interpretation. Sinem and Ozan, as individual stars, have always lived in that spotlight. Together, even as rumor rather than certainty, they stir the imagination. And so the speculation explodes with the force of a storm, leaving people asking the same question again and again: is it true? Let's pause and take a breath. What do we actually know? What have they said? Because amid all the guessing, nothing matters more than the words of the people at the center. And here's the truth so far: neither Sinem Ünsal nor Ozan Akbaba has publicly confirmed a pregnancy. There have been smiles, there have been graceful deflections, there have been moments that seem to say a lot by saying very little. But an official statement? No. A post that speaks plainly? Not yet. Interviews have come and gone, events have been attended, and still, the heart of the rumor remains just that, a rumor. Some see silence as a sign, others see it as simple privacy. Both interpretations can exist at the same time. And privacy matters. More than anything, it matters. Even under the heat of constant attention, a life remains a life, a moment remains a moment. If Sinem and Ozan were holding a secret as precious as new life, who could blame them for keeping it close? Who could blame them for choosing quiet over spectacle, at least for a time? Fans are earnest and passionate, and we love that, but no matter how deeply we care, there are corners of a person's world that deserve gentle respect. A pregnancy, if it exists, sits tenderly among those corners. Still, the persistence of the rumor makes people wonder. Perhaps something true whispers at the edges. Perhaps not. Perhaps some outlets simply know that the right words can spark clicks and conversations. We've seen a familiar pattern repeat in the coverage: references to unnamed sources, anonymous insiders, threads that dangle without knots, soft anecdotes packaged as bombshells. Maybe someone misread a moment. Maybe someone repeated a wish and called it a fact. Maybe a single private exchange was torn from its context and placed under a merciless light. The truth is rarely simple once gossip takes hold. Let's also talk about timing. Rumors don't appear in a vacuum. They cling to moments of heightened attention, to premieres and campaigns, to interviews and photographs that travel far and fast. Could the story have surfaced because both stars are visible at the same time, each carrying their own momentum? Could the story gain power because fans have long wanted to see them united in more than a photograph? It happens. Love stories float around public figures like constellations. People reach up and try to connect the dots. Meanwhile, social media has done what social media does. Your feeds overflow with speculation. Threads bloom into forest fires. A single snapshot yields 100 theories. Some fans swear they notice a change in energy, in style, in the way a body leans or a hand rests. Others push back, urging patience. The debate becomes global, and Sinem Ünsal and Ozan Akbaba, two artists who have given us countless performances to remember, find their names tethered to a story no one can confirm. Hashtags trend. Memes multiply. And at the center of it all, a quiet remains. The wish of fans can be powerful enough to paint a world. When audiences connect deeply with public figures, when they find comfort in the possibility of love blooming off-screen, they build narratives that feel as real as anything. With Sinem and Ozan, the contrast of their public personas creates a chemistry people can't stop imagining. Her warmth and poise, his intensity and gravity, the graceful balance that could exist between them. So the idea of a family, a future, a small heartbeat, lights up hearts. That's human. But it can also blur lines. Let's turn to the supposed evidence. The claims go like this: she refused a certain drink at a dinner, she switched to looser silhouettes, he was unusually attentive in a hallway where cameras flashed, a stylist's caption mentioned a new chapter. A mutual friend posted a cryptic message about blessings and beginnings. Each piece, on its own, is harmless. Together, they form a suggestive collage. Yet suggestion is not certainty. The human mind loves a story, especially one that promises joy. But a story and a truth are not always the same. Reporters have asked, as they always do. Microphones have been offered. Smiles have been returned. The answers, when given, have danced around the edges. No denials carved in stone. No confirmations etched in light. And because ambiguity is a cousin of enchantment in this world, the silence sings. A nod becomes a vow. A glance becomes a revelation. But friends, we must be careful. Body language can carry meaning, yes, but it can also carry projection. What we bring into an image can be as loud as what the image brings to us. Some point to their recent public appearances. They talk about the softness of Sinem's gaze, the way she rested her hand as if guarding a secret. They talk about the way Ozan stood slightly closer than usual, the hint of protectiveness in his posture, the warmth he radiated in otherwise cool rooms. Others point out that they've always been gracious, always composed, always thoughtful, and that their behavior looks like nothing more than the practiced poise of seasoned professionals. Both readings are possible. That is why speculation is so slippery. And then there are the articles, oh, the articles. that claim information from acquaintances, stylists, distant cousins of managers, old classmates of promoters. You've read them. We all have. They come wrapped in phrases like reportedly and allegedly and believed to be, and yet they fly through timelines like arrows seeking bullseyes. It's thrilling and exhausting at once. Which is why we pause here and remember, nothing, not a thing, replaces the clarity of a spoken truth from the people who live it. What about their dynamic? What about the path that led to this moment of collective curiosity? We've watched them navigate the same orbit, crossing paths and creating sparks in the public imagination. Perhaps there was a season when we saw them together more often, a season when the cameras seemed to catch that perfect overlap of charm and mystery. Then the noise quieted, as noise always does, and everyone wondered whether the story had ended or simply gone behind closed doors. Now, as this new rumor blooms, the question returns, is there a new chapter opening? And if so, will they share it when they're ready? Let's remind ourselves again, even in the glitter and the glare, privacy is not an enemy of the public. It is not a slight against the audience to keep something sacred for a time. If there is a baby on the way, if Sinem and Ozan are preparing for a transformation that will forever redefine their world, perhaps their first wish is to experience it quietly. The hearts that entertain the world are also hearts that beat in the quiet of a kitchen at midnight, in the hush of a drive home, in the warmth of a hand held without cameras. We understand that. We honor it. So where does that leave us? With a truth both simple and frustrating. There is no official confirmation. There is fascination and excitement, yes. There are signs that some read as messages, yes. But until we hear it from Sinem Ünsal and Ozan Akbaba themselves, the most honest position is patience. Caution is not the enemy of hope. We can hold both in our hands at once, tenderly, respectfully. Of course, that doesn't stop the debate. Some are convinced it's real and that the announcement is only a heartbeat away. Some argue it's a mirage, a product of timing and longing and the magnetism that always surrounds these two. Others say the rumor sprang from a misunderstanding. Maybe a role being prepared, maybe a story arc teased, maybe a moment misread by eyes that wanted to see more than was there. Each possibility is plausible. That's why we haven't rushed to declare a verdict. Here at Turkish Series Stars, we value the story, but we value the people inside it even more. We took a long look at their latest interviews. Sinem's answers glowed with her usual intelligence, that grace that holds the room without trying. Ozan's words carried the grounded calm that has become his signature. Both seemed focused on their craft, on future projects, on the responsibility of art in a world that needs it. Neither strayed into sensationalism. Neither fed the fire. And that, friends, might be the most telling thing of all, that two people so used to attention chose stillness over theater when the easier path would have been to play along. So, for now, let's hold this gently. Let's celebrate the possibility without demanding proof. Let's honor the right of two artists, two humans, to choose their moment. If an announcement comes, we'll be here with warm hearts and open arms, ready to share the joy with you. And if it doesn't, if this turns out to be one of those beautifully persistent rumors that eventually fades like a song at sunset, we'll still be here, honoring the work, celebrating the performances, standing with the truth that drew us to them in the first place. As we close, let's gather what we've learned tonight. The rumor that Sinem Ünsal might be expecting a child with Ozan Akbaba has captured the imagination of millions. The whispers began as they always do, with delicate observations, with the faraway echo of sources who will not show their faces, with a set of photographs that could be read in 1,000 different ways. No official confirmation has been given. The story lives in the tense, glittering space between desire and disclosure. And in that space, our role is simple. We watch. We care. We wait. We respect. Because however this plays out, the people at the heart of it deserve grace. Tell me, my dears, what do you believe? Do you see signals that convince you, or do you think this is another mirage cast by spotlights and longing? I want to hear from you, your thoughts, your theories, your hopes. Let's talk in the comments and keep the conversation kind. If tonight's deep dive helped you see the bigger picture, tap that like button, share this with a friend who follows every heartbeat of this story, and make sure you're subscribed to Turkish series stars so you never miss what comes next. Thank you for spending your time and trust with us. Until the next chapter, take care of yourselves, and keep your hearts open to the stories that make this world shimmer.